Right now, watching Jumedi Sunia, we are live on Adom TV, Sanso Tienka Sempa 94.7 FM. O share o time noa. Na say no nonkron aba pa sima miensa. We're going all the way till 10 a.m. No do eba na fe ya sorry so. For o comments bra. Facebook Adom TV on Facebook and Asempa 94.7 FM on Facebook. Na fe yanje bra na yankin kai emfa ema. Efe di kai no ya de akobu mene Angel Kabono na openi otosumienu atnase openi otosumienu atnase Professor Ransford Jampo secretary elect University Teachers Association of Ghana and amene no eba betwetwen komo womo strikers see a womo eko ensunsuanso a enya ewo a school for the various universities and issues no ankasa today I want us to take time now for yenhwe issues no because enra Deputy Minister for Employment and Labor Relations, Ura Bright Rekubro Bekra, Ejitum say, say, Kasa idea. Issues no Zanksani and call home. Court to now, Natrian now to be Mienu Ebe. And so, what are really the issues? Many Professor Jampu, Betritrin Sound Comono. But Mame Baye, Sima, Nami Chan Rameba, Mama Prof. Akwaba.
Yes, we have to go back if they defy the court order.
When will this be?
That should be tomorrow.
Okay. What are you going to seek from the court?
We are going to seek compliance and punitive action for defying the court order.
What kind of punitive action would you be asking for?
We will be citing them for contempt. So if the court finds them guilty of contempt, then the court will apply the statute at once. So
is your expectation that, for instance, Professor Mafo, president of UTAG, would be jailed?
Oh, no, I don't expect him to be jailed. He has to purge his contempt.
That because I was simply asking that because it's part of the spectrum of sanctions.
Part of it, but it's for the court to decide. But I don't wish him like that. I mean, Ghana prisons are not good. I mean, that's it.
Right, Yama Akwaba bio, Mamema Professor Ransford Jampo, Akwaba Prof. Akwaba.
Yeah.
I'm holding on here.
Adom.
And then I say, looking young as always, you know. My name is secret, the Prof.
Kobobo answer meba.
Kobobo answer fantastic. Then I say, Nedi kind and ra, me who press release on the UTAG letterhead. With reference number near Dana, reference number UTAG/NS/2021/008 distribution all UTAG branches. Dear member of UTAG, Enraya 13th August, suspension of ongoing strike action. Following our decision to embark on an industrial strike action on the pretext of government's failure to address the worsening conditions of UTAG's members and unfruitful engagement back and forth, negotiations for our conditions of service has been reached and planted on good soil. Our call for some enhanced and progressive proposals has been received following an emergency meeting that was held on Friday, 13th August 2021. Then I say, per this release, you know, as I must suspend them strike action, no. Dr. Eric K.K. Abavari, National Secretary and the Sasha say, authentic, Prof.
That's it. Michia Ashafoni Tifonina. Let me say, Mama and kind of pain say, and you know, a fake.
A fake.
Let me say, and rap could be by. And I say, Miancasa Mensa.
Oh, Sasha say. Yeah.
Now, my signature, me ding jump unumpu, and so as will be our signature, and I say. And so I'm a sign, and I know pains to me by here, and I'm saying, for Fruby. I'll show for now. I'm more dream, or Harrier, I'm sure because but and also a fake. Now, your best say, Oma yen sadi, oh, ye mubinum ye tre amanyosam. Now, we are not ignorant of these strategies. A kwan bi a nipa binom ɛfa so na just to court public disaffection for you. Nti omo de beto saa nipa na I call them social media political laggards. Oh, nkofo bi a ase omo ni adwuma ye. Na omo adia ne say they hide behind the facelessness of social media. No ma ye saa neme. Now you see sanya omo ye no, they cannot do it sadi. They cannot do it on their own. Unse ase ebia nkofo mpinimfo bi nso ehyehyire a omo ye say okay munye na monka so ma call off their strike omo ba no mbeka so omo call off a se ne be ya omo ho be ye ebufu na omo ho be ye ehin na se ne the public will rise up against
motivation
that is the whole idea. Na me gidi say eno de entumi mfa solution bia enye den emma. Number one, omuntias say, Unyame Adom, they are not smarter than us. Yet ni omo yen ase esen omo ankasa omo ye. Into no quickly, so I'll share my social media page. Once quickly my issue statement I say enye no crap. That is number one. Number two, eye omine dadwini problem kese e na ye try say ye be find a solution to. Enti say ya nya na sa na ye we seek to incite the public against omo push say yempe solution be to these problems. At the end of the day, one share na solutions na be boa ma mine to mpon na yenya.
In fact, Prof, a response what they attach a release. No, I'm reading from your Facebook page 17 minutes ago. I say this is also fake. Please tell the deployed social media political land guards that we aren't ignorant of their cheap strategies aimed at courting public disaffection for us. They unfortunately aren't smart and cannot outsmart us in any way. We blame this on their unemployment and underemployment.
Yeah.
We call on policymakers to do more to tackle joblessness among young people as a partial solution to the creeping phenomenon of social media political landgarism. Prof,
that's se eye na obi wo adwuma ye den adwuma no e the pressures ato no so our reports ni deadline as o submit here onkotena social media enye sa ne ma nti me hu se omo bebre na to de bia na omo ni adwuma ye ka under employment odwin se oye adwuma nanso at the end of the day what comes to him or her in terms of reward on kitikiti bi
okay
so your friend and them to before say nipa bebre a sa no I blame it on their joblessness. Oh, yeah, na we juma bi anka wonye sade. Nti yes say policymakers must also rethink the whole idea of unemployment among young people as a solution or partial solution to the creeping phenomenon of social media political landgardism me refer to no. Na na me kan say we a problem a wo hode da oh say fa wo say o chire ni a you are supposed to help in producing people refer to as nation builders yan ya de chire ene ye chire a ye chire no enna emma ye produce nkofo a omo chire oman oh enti se ye owon a produce nation builders no se omo akoma nto omo yem na omo nya opepa na omo nya agbodichere na omuni njia it has an effect and impact on the quality of people they produce as nation builders. At the end of the day, politicians be kosoro aba form if the quality of people, human resource needed to help in translating their ideals into concrete developmental outcomes. So if this quality is undermined, if this quality is undermined, nyebeye nyina no eye cost 90 eye 0. Enti ye hwe kwan say ye be call back to the days of old when the teachers' remuneration and conditions of service were even better than politicians. If you come in Nkrumah Mbreswa, before Kwame Nkrumah di ade you've chair say you elected as a leader of government business in 1951. Colonial government na also no o make sure say we actually ni University of Ghana we seek several conditions of service it was akin to your counterpart anywhere in the university in any university in the UK.
Yeah.
Well, now the idea was that omo per se UK for no so it me finding it easy say ye ka so omo bra Ghana actually dey metumi actually dey Kwame Nkrumah ebedi ade no ono so na yin so ade hu was that some crofwe see ye hwe omo yi a one na be training nation builders ama wetumi akekere oman no but what's the mechanism enti no o training o motivate omo yi to the point that lecturers were taking more salaries and conditions, better conditions of service than ministers and deputy ministers.
At what point now? Niema fi asese ejigu lay.
Baby,
edi abedu baby.
Sana nkoma ye na nizo ade ho nti no me du ho. Wanya no nya minister nya university teachers nko a. Na mum even secondary school teachers and na secondary school headmasters na omaketia eye papa esen ministers any members of parliament. Enunti na evidence wo na say me chiro bibi me research bi edbetu dwa na evidence wo a e kire say enkofo binum na omo university professors ebinum ya university senior lecturers omo jai omo dwuma ho ekọ secondary school ekọ kire ade ebinum jai omo dwuma ekọ secondary school ko ye secondary schools ebinum ebinum ye teachers omo ye teachers no omo kwa aban ma appointment e ma omo ko serve ye omo serve wie ye no omo san come back to the classroom to teach and na bisa won say teacher ni ben e na o kire ade ne aban ebe man appointment obeye wie obesan kase obeso san ko kire ade
and the teachers now they want to get into politics
on ko de kire say asitena mu na wo ho no enye but those days no na Kwame Nkrumah feel says teacher for and na a produce nation builders into so show mu na oye ya me say ye two Kwame Nkrumah no asoja for a buy asoja for have no role, they have no business being part of governance nyom na ebu oman enti esan say governance is not their calling and their mandate you know omu two aban gu ye no they didn't have the technical know-how enti no quickly omu ko school sa civilians omu wie school anase ebinum kwa school ni afaw sebra na beboayen nti they recruited young civilians omu mbo brother nti se wokofa obi se omra na ombeboa na yenye governance no na so mbo brother na chese number 1 SSE patro ne make uti number 1 SSE o ma no accommodation take note of this Kwame Nkrumah pension no one ma MPB accommodation one ma minister be accommodation tie ni you MP you are not entitled to accommodation adenti or see wo fie we no e wo constituency enti no memma wo ba kra we ohwoho e wa ha into the best you can do say bia obepe bibi kitwe bi aye atna na mamu wie pe wie parliamentary sessions
come back
to your constituency say be ya represent the quality of representation e be deepin but what you say into one person obema MPs adan accommodation e won crying ministers one more be accommodation one e more accommodation e judges a doctor for and a senior public civil servants na nyoye ne say one more accommodation no osisi estates bebre na obi we minister na say wo sika na say obeto estate ni bia watobi what you say ba fa no o musika o mankasa HC omodan what Abavana junction Abavana no na oye osueni I think Minister of Education or something and Kwame Nkrumah o see ne dan awo ho be osi ni dan wa be big new town ho be for Abavana junction onu si ni dan o ho na ofi ebe adwuma na the junction no ade to Abavana junction part what you say nti Kwame Nkrumah ampe say obeketa for certain needs of politicians part what you say na ne koba ne say bra ye tu Kwame Nkrumah ade so afei ye de asoja for eba omo ba no se ne American no obi wo school ani afro say we don't know governance yenim te mombra na meboy obi a we school a onye adwuma da no ofre na oni bebite oni bebida into straight away then the government thought of military they sort of yempe bibi yempe accommodation mano oni ka anti yemanaka oni say yemfa mano until they did that for quote and unquote the small boys that they appointed to help them govern na omo yes awie omo so koye no esan say eno ema politicians enije no and na ya perpetuate from that time
the civilian successive civilian government
na into no omo number 1 quickly they raise their salaries and then some of these appointees their member point to small boy na ma point mama bungalows mama car no mama sa nime no na se me anso a me ye no me nso me den me pe bia ma nti no omo tafre a omo tafre na fe omo tutu omo de so in the process of doing that they forgot say Kwame Nkrumah na oweni so ade hu bi enti ana or keep teachers at a certain level in terms of their salaries and conditions of service nti omo refi and na adi enya fiti sa time na ebesin de year frame ye 1992 constitution no afi ye de besa be ye mbra ekonya article 71 office holders omo de sebe akoye se won ye nipa esen all public servants ntino omo de ye nhwe omo yie na nkaifo no na nsin ye ti say atototo omo conditions of service ne salaries mu over 70% na say for now be my public servant bi also omo de 4%. You see, you do not, you see, we are buying na say sadi I say kane no kai hu say 1992 constitution bra na ye chichere no na eye soldier ban and also nti niam bebre una fe nso that time no people were used to dictatorship to the point say aban say da abeda aban say yes abey nti na man for any opepase ye be constitution no mu na be ye aban na dia abaye pe that we just accept it like that but say any bieye akoninim and afei adesua akwenim and afei democracy now say how it works elsewhere no ye nyina yesua ma nipa akomutirim enti enu nti na say edu bebi a ye nyina ye call say yensan hwe article 71 office holders me madwi mu no momfa teacher for enkoto mo pese article 71 office holders 71 office provision e wo hodia enne ede adwuma no mo ye so mo govern yes sir omo buman sir eno so so mo buman a momfa won a esiesie nipa ema nipa etumi ebuman no yemfa mo kan article 71 for na fe yemfa a doctor for ni a nurse for omo nso honami a yede ye adwuma nse yede buman no se eho kan omo nso ehwe se ye ne ye no omo so yemfa omo kan article 71 office holders no let's broaden it se ye penisade a ene yenye sa nya sade a let us scrap the whole idea of article 71 and let's think about how we pay ourselves because sika waha yete se over 70% of government sika on emoluments payment of salaries and conditions of service na bisa won say politicians ankwa de from this 70% ukohwa me sure say bia wo mpese obehwe enti no sika no na mom nkofo ketu bi ene ye de ma omo say omundi na obehwa a teacher for emnye omo a omasem basabasa obi o kira de university de eno ne se ne nijia ne se wa chiro wa ye research bi na ode findings akwa abrochire na ya kenkan mu yesi bia revise and submit na wa betena se wetumi a revise paper no na wa submit na paper na ya publish na fe ode paper no emu nsem atu ne tim na fe ode kira de na wankasa won se wa kira de no wa grade na school for na pass woni gie ane se omo pass na omo kire se ne wo kire no mai den omo tia se enu na ye woni gie nti because of sa ne sa bibia eya a teacher for ye hwe de nti no eya na ye nheda emma ye ni nko ye conditions of service eso but what them can say that is the reason why you are negotiating for better conditions of service from 2012 up to end.
Okay, Prof. I understand, sir. Luke's president, Ewa Humano, so Imano Brachi, Adom, National Union of Ghana Students. Ima Timenka. Hello, Ima.
Yes, I'm how.
Good. Maybe I'm a cordier.
Nyame Adom Nemon Pie Boy, I want to answer.
Yagusunka Kraka, Mohon Komona, year to train. My church for a woman was strike. As students, how are you coping, Ima?
Cecilia, no, the kind. Or the young fancy, I'm paying for OBP and fact dance.
Professor Jampo, how much me a channel? Professor runs for Jampo,
Monsumubiti, I know them. Na Yachaga Nation for almost na near the kind, I'm the Ghanaian student. I can say we are in a state where we don't even know what to do because Nanka was a war revision week and the young who say you see the costing the banner and I see anything. You know, you go so yes, for Casa say we should continue and concentrate on the revision because we believe that at any given time now, our lecturers may come back to class and then maybe banana may perfume and I say an impromptu at the BI. And here, and chat between the and lectures and bino. Na addition at the chance of
okay, but impact ben pa and you saw so ben as a strike a day abremu say addition for Emmanuel my entire say
okay on say psychologically who ye bibiana you prepare towards it. Enti Oshaya Ghanaian students psychologically were preparing for their exams. And we know a combine enti acquire say the change and I said the twist in Munama, I can say confidently say the most Ghanaians have been affected psychologically. What to do now has become a bone of contention because UTAG back or China let any fake and UTAG retro or more strike China a fake. So ama Tizinian Kazanian Shebe near echo and near eba. And ye shem come where coson and sona. I ain't saying baby and a union and so no. One thing that we can do is to make sure say ye be bumpire say ya chair for beba back. Now we can't take any other position than to be in the middle and then hope and pray that things will be all right.
Okay. Ima Professor Ransford jump put her. One noobs for you now. As someone who person will catch my church referee. Fafana so now on Fankuma UTAG for who we are. They are also me, you know, a buy so a wotie and also so noobs for as someone will catch a buy and also so one can't try. Name you know, you man mean now can you try and come on.
Person can't say Michelle.
Okay, one you see a prof professor can't say Michelle. Yet you ma.
Okay, medasi. Yes, we share a statement I did beginning of the demonstration and everything, strike and everything. Now, we indicated say a year UTAG or more demands and a near more motion. A year near ma it didn't necessary so much share chirakwan. But at the end of the day, looking at the state and now sending a near matia, are you woman CCA taking into consideration the loss of contact hours by Ghanaian students and a host of others now. Na yes, say ya church for anything. Emra back no moment once they continue with the negotiation. And at the end of the day, your sense of catcher are buying say, making sure say obey keep it up and obey live it up with the terms of references and now terms of engagement on UTAG for Ebeko. Now as soon as possible, no making sure say a year and come on no mube DPA and so no. Abayna share not what's mukina. Then we spoke against or we warned both parties or we cautioned both parties not to go into the negotiations with any form of entrenched positions. Now this part and a year gain a church for any abino a National Union of Ghana students yet your muya pa. Because it seems none of them cares about Ghanaian students. Because looking at such a delicate issue, then both parties went into negotiations with entrenched positions where UTAG say, one for we are my go back, we are there, go back. And then Abino is saying something different. So, and Ekoyesia, na ama saying for no. We are in a state of dilemma and then confusion because you don't know where to stand.
No, but you initially, initially,
as soon as possible, they should think about us, go back to the negotiation table and make sure say they reach a compromise as soon as possible. And then at the China decision, because they see Ghanaian students, or more prepare yourself and by next 3 weeks or more able coffee to see and a whole lot of enema baby gentlemen can be but yet you so your bumpire senior mebeka your lectures are na mebɛkan aban na koma na ɔmasi nkonya na ɔmatumi arreach to a conclusion a ɛsan de lectures no ɛbɛba back to the classroom.
Okay, Yima, Prof, episode can be Prof, Nukes President.
Good morning, Mr. President.
Good morning, Prof.
Mpacho, me assure say working kind me articles bebree amachro e wo Nukes ho. Eka eba Nukes ho asem a menim bebree. Na me pese me ka kire o say you see, neutrality is unhelpful when a decision will have to be taken. Me hu, na minim se saa so na bia wo hu me. Me politically neutral. But when it comes to decision making as to who I must vote for in any election, me nka se me neutral ntimento aba. Minim be bia meto ma aba akọ, just that bia me vote wouldn't be on autopilot. Ima the same way, say assembly na aba. Na ye ka. Woka se media megina fimfin na me jamo omo ananka so omo nka at the end of the day no effect no so den ebi call so oh mete se wo ka bebre se yen koso yen negotiate na ye take in transit and trench position as for me nu aketwa me pacho ya negotiate for close to 10 years what dream no how many more years and yen fan count in terms of negotiation. Catch them, me catch them in because we've been negotiating this. Now me can our friend. We've been negotiating this from 2012 up to now. Now, Esan said, teacher for ye what tema, ye mu bebre, and your parents. Yes, ye ma wo school num binintino. Who call no monsieur china near you. Who call no monsieur china near you. Who call no monsieur china near you. And only this ebedu sabri. There is ample evidence to show that we have been overly patient. In fact, Papa Penibia, me mentor, Professor Bafo Ajimandia, ono kraka say, I said, kasa teacher for no, ye patience no, ye nyabi brino, and na amasa and ye men bedru baby. We've been patient. Now, yes, say, penny focus as a pamu ohunfua, bema. Inti ekodu baby say, wa wuti mini medwuma da so pese obeye but minimum say school for no bebre enso nyaaya omo wi ankomo so ba be take over from us as a churchful. What we are seeking to do now no it is to be able to make sure say eniama be ye amama echina say mu bi mu join ya eniama ye den aye yi amamo say amoso metumi e de be hwe mawofo e na sefo ntino yes remo media minyaaya nuksufo then on this particular issue no, you must take a position. You can choose to take a position with the government. That will be your position. But my view, no, you must take a position with your teachers because we are fighting for a just cause. Yes, sorry, Enna, yeah. Akodu baby say, si anyenenda, ya be no daben. Enti enye sebe tafrache musku kona mo kono na aface say lectures are suspended one shot the full next week universities would have to be compared to shut down. And yes, ye nije ho. Nemom baby ekodu no ye hu bia ase enye yi na kai hu se opani yi onipa life onipa nkwa yentumi reschedule nanso doctors for omobufu a won ko strike e ma nipewu na academic calendar de onyame adom yetumi reschedule teaching timetable onyame adom yetumi reschedule examination timetable onyame adom yetumi reschedule enti no obi enwu mun take a position to support your teacher for na yem push for a just cause sene ebe ya echina ejina monim na se echire made a yede akomato yem ene enije ebe den ebe kire se amonso mo benya niema papa bi bebre aiden efimu
okay
menu aketo asa na mpesa meka
Ima quick response to near Prof kan say na fe yenja kwan Emmanuel
me pacho looking at near Prof Ekanya no say Ghanaian student you hear the services of your lectures, no doubt about it. Now, yen as a union, beef or your position now you're taking is not say is an act of cowardice or be leadership no. It should be being tina. You see that you betting and fin. Now you're making sure say you abino here church for a bedding ebishia. Now. We don't want to be public relation officers or PR unit for both UTAG and then both or the government. Now, say Ochinabi doctors echo striker Nook's position ebeyede ochinabi say nurses echo striker Nook's position ebeyede ochinabi say
no but Emmanuel this is something that directly affects you.
That is why we are in the middle calling for both parties to continue with the negotiations. Now only Mamen can be
Emmanuel Otemenka. Hello, Ima. Let me be make us say this is something that directly affects you. And the teacher is saying that I mean this is what you have to do.
And I'm a tech. I'm a student or tech.
What's it?
Me say me and I'm a student or tech. And me yet directly affected by the strike action of a UTAG.
And our teacher said pitch camp with them so that I mean as soon as possible this issue can be resolved because of your own future.
So let's say because I am a student in the university, no, our lecturer is calling for me to pitch camp. Yes, it's a right call. Then Senagrat and SHS and JHS, no, I'm also a teacher, a co-striker. Where should I pitch camp with? Where do I belong to? It is not a matter of belonging.
No,
it is not a matter of making sure. They do the right things and get back to work. Now, your lectures we've maintained say, it is genuine. We've never argued about the demands that they are making. We know it is a genuine cause that they are finding.
So how long does he expect?
At the end of the day, Yebusa say, Jaina ye breno, ye say lecture say, compromises na also mumekino, and the negotiations are more kono. They should do so without maybe 10 NMAP.
Okay.
Yes, also catch a buying so say. Making sure say on a teacher for no so no. A better say not only on my share. Send your bayer and any BB answer by day. A bayer juma. Now say your court near Kojaya lectures a chine. That's all china. Union more JHS and anyone more teacher trainee. Almost lectures a cost striker. And mom say mini teacher trainee and a mini JHS in it. How do I go about it?
Okay, imagine that Prof wants to ask you a simple question.
Emmanuel, actual. So both parties, share na omonya the right thing, na entiasie.
Emmanuel Otemenka.
Me patcho meet you.
Good. Prof.
You might me that say. Let me say, senior me share that na me catch or say. As I say, we share research biblia about student activism and in fact student activism in the lead up to the struggle for independence throughout the independence period the formation of the Ghana's Fourth Republic. Ya church on some bebre na why union leader student leader mesre say kenkan research ni bi na you would then appreciate nyama bi a nooks for a year to bring about change. It was never neutrality at all. Say enya they speak against it. When say would you to say demand na no would you to say aban so has not been fair with us. But at the same time also media imagine fin to the bia no emwa but my substantive issue I have with your call. In fact, you are speaking as a student leader. I have a lot of respect for you as a student leader. But me bisa say, you negotiate here for 10 years. Why dream? Once you answer negotiate bium. Who say how many more years? And you bet to me a negotiate bium account. At the chest say, bra ye issue statement say. You know why you juma for over 10 years. You negotiate here for close to 10 years. Mun fee yen. Enti you be cost strike no. You sure letter cry then at the mom. At the letter no man impending for no cry no. Oman respond mpo se bia yensa kamo letter. Oman acknowledge receipt po. Afi ye call strike no pa fe mu di mikasa afi ye besa negotiate. How many more years and you betumi aye?
Prof, me pacho, I've been reading most of the circulars na ebana. Hello.
Yeah, tell you, my tell Kapa.
Me pacho, I've been reading most of the circulars that comes from UTAG. And then the first circular a threaten say at a given period say UTAG demands no aban no ansha nyama oma ombeko strike no that circular and that letter no accepted and appreciated the fact that through omu meetings and omu meetings omu ne aban no aye no and no lead to a certain increment, a certain percentage increment, which was I think around 4% for this year. Now next year, no, I increase it to I think 7 as a 12%.
Okay, and you must so if you say 4%, no, is enough. Is that it?
Well,
that,
me say
that percentage may never be enough or will never be enough. But at the end of the day, if UTAG and penning for, I appreciated the fact that there's been an increment, which not to their expectation. As student unions, I've said earlier, we will not be agents of the government or any other body, but to the student welfare alone.
Okay.
Now,
Yima?
It is affecting us directly. But at the end of the day, say I'm father say my lectures. Now I'm father so to abine anymore. Quite bena a prof, as I just say, because to me, and then my colleague executives, and then the leadership of the union, we feel at this material moment, we are to be in the middle. And then at Chopania, they remember both parties, a year abino,
okay.
And UTAG and Penny.
Okay.
Say, Omobetana say, no more Sinquia, no more Timia reach to a compromise. Now, a Piamonsono, ye best sign a cassette, ya say, party nemu piano, ebeko into negotiation table, with media, one year, say, men care say, and I made you say, and mayo.
Okay.
That is the taking
okay.
of entrenched
position. All right. Imagine
yes, sir, entrenched positions are a bermu join the negotiation processes. No, and no, ama besine, yentiminya same way who pumasipe.
Okay. Imagine Asumame, Prof. Students' body, no, or more appreciation of. And summer, that process say education home common. Who is saying from?
Appreciate the appreciation, no, and that's great. Asema or Kansas here, I think it is completely different from what we are talking about. Say Obekaya, what is here, Kansas in 2012, there was a certain agreement between government, okay,
yes,
and labor, Mekan University, a teacher for, as to Sika, your friend, entry point salary and conditions of service for a lecturer, okay. It was agreed upon in 2012. And no, and yes, negotiation yen yansha say, and no na ye kase. Sa sikano, munye den, monfa emaye. Now, more the says sikano maya, na fiatnase, aye negotiation. And what were you talking about? Around that time, no say, o calculate here, and ne, around 2012, na ye can say, ubi ebe lecturer, one man, a little over $2,000. What the $2,000 a compare sebe me amadam for penny bi me mboni din o se me kɔ heyaba me kɔ abuchire aba na yaso me se me kɔ abuchire mra ne per diem okodi 3 days per diem no o kɔ abuchire aba 3 days ne per diem $5,000 na teacher ni akire ade bosome o se man a little over $2,000 from 2012 up till now we haven't been able to have a solution to that. Abaya jiatum, but amunfanye jumaye. Enti eno na ye kase. Yen pese yen kase muntu yaketu emu emaye. See, we would negotiate that. But niya ye jitu mu 2012 no. Any yesi unko mi ase.
Prof say oka $4 no na aye kete. If I the back Ghana city
it's about 12,000, 11,000 depending on exchange rate I be using. 11,000, 12,000 thereabout. Okay, but send me the kanka and say obi ko UK here ba na okodi 2 days na say o pay dem na waketu ya say wo kwa ban fa we to ho na $5,000 na o teacher ni tena say e kire ade 12 months 1 month na o say won tua na entry ade of $2,000 senka me dem tie kura na me buefu e say we ya bibi kitikiti bia mo bisa and omokase there be and we need the restoration of that money before we go on to negotiate. But say already issue be a me person me address, but me person we are
as a banter
because it's not necessary. Bibisa and say I can kind the history of NUCs and student activism. I say can he didn't give me response to that, but he was talking about him say yeah press release be release circular be I'm conforming fee and so am I call strike. I think that as student leaders we will do a lot of service to the student body if we take a look at how student activism has been undertaken from independence time up to now. They have more certain features. Student. That was a time and he has referred to students and NUCs as the conscience of the nation. And now to me, NUCs for NKBB on many socio-economic and political issues. At the chair said, Bibisa, no, I respect their position that they've taken, but it's only a free advice. Say, if in never be air coso, send you making year kotuaba. Now I say me neutral about a decision making. Okay, me neutral and to be a metwa and I meant to her. I just say you've not helped our democracy. It might the same way no. As some are making a pertinent to our quest to produce nation builders and to develop our country as a people.
Okay.
And so I feel say if government itself agreed at one point in time, they say now over 10 years, close to 10 years, on near cancer, restore answer. Restore sadna ya agree no. Restore my so that we can go on to negotiate. Meaning they say a caller, Obibeka said, oh, yeah, no more ya drink by so any abang so ya drink to no media agent of film. Yes, sir. Acquire say, yan strike and any pain wunty. And she but ye nyanux for no be na omonso BGH ye cheating as far nke bi anka again momentum you know Mr. Penny said Minua Kuma said your posturing of neutrality on this matter no it does not emat the desired impact no we don't achieve it and at the end of the day it's dragging the process say senya medi nkaka no a teacher for the omonye yi gidigidi sao senya menika omonye nkofo a omasem den tintin omonye sa anka omuntumi ntena negotiation ase for 10 years nka omonye but what them can say na mom ase waya na afuno nipa no nti afebi senya afuno ne koduro bi say yemfa how many more years ensanka negotiation no say what years bi a obi catch and say obi a man negotiate here for close to 10 years munsa nka hweye for 10 years and 5 years bi ensanka ho a but you see we share the posturing of even those leading the negotiation now emaye hu say anya de a omaye omadwen say omo pese omo solve problem there what do I mean by
yes
what do I number 1 say nyam di nkankan obi a se be yafa wadwuma se pani na woto na teacher for akiro say yade yaka enkosi agante no to munyama yenya say ebe strike I think the decent thing for you to do is to just acknowledge receipt of their letter and quickly call them again and I say oh munya but number 1 when acknowledge ade ye letter bia number 2 ne say number 2 Sankofwe are supposed to be independent arbiters patotiwo aban eye enfomoso NLC aban owoso no oni labor for eco agreement bi eye NLC n'edwuma na sede so omegina finfin se aban ebu ne nhihye no so a NLC for na ese okachom se aban wo ka kire nkofo no se mo be yesa amam nti esrew ye so wanya yen NLC ni be den ebegu ase enso se aban eka se meye we amamo na se aban anya labor commission ka hwe nchira aban labor commission to me for aban court nemom se labor strike because of same violation of government's own commitment then they are so much in a hurry to go to court
but Prof Batomeba you are on record to have said say National Labor Commission you're bogus. They don't even deserve to exist. Is that a good posturing going into negotiation?
Can say, you see, more near abai and to me, anyeno, man kanenim man kahwe anche no na yen negotiate for 10 years aban fee na afie yes ye yen kra yen dade yedwuma na de begu ho no and you are quickly in a hurry to take us to court. So yes sir, not say your role as an independent arbiter no has been compromised. Now, if you are an independent arbiter, that's when to me set that independence. Now first they be a back side, they were back side. Not just that commission, no, my dream no me for say and say exist because they are supposed to exercise a certain clear mandate of independence. Almost can okay. Now say they have undermined or sacrificed that independent arbiter mandate. Now they are more winning near kosi. What your name penning for? Let me say last week your name penning for ministries ni bi share adwada. Your name penning for share adwada no. Ebnada and National Labour Commission etro yen say omone yen ebe share yawada yeah. And na ukwada public na ukwada na public holiday. Yes. Enti yen so leadership no ya sure mo kete say on matters like this that directly affect us no. They cannot pretend to understand our concerns better than we ourselves. And you know, every agreement be a number, among agreement, we can up this proposal be a revert to us. Now, yes, see, you need you then Yabom with you don't say, Adi Monko, Namuya, Monko agree another. And you know, when they met with ministries, you know, the plan was that they were going to meet with us on Wednesday, on Thursday. Tuesday, and the National Labour Commission, Etro say, omunshia yinshia omo Thursday until we wrote to say oh nyame boa Wednesday no a public holiday Thursday nso so ye pese shia ye constituent dey no kasa until ye information no meeting Friday ye can say no the next time no mo dey ekogina court is it a good fit that's wrong ye can say no they did not even acknowledge receipt of na straight away no mo dey court na eya na ne ha adwene say you see who din kan court na wundi bimie. The other bit is that we call court professors are a law are seeking interpretation or more in the various universities. And to know to me for court any law some way. Oh, we are not interested in protracted litigation.
Prof, about the reason why I say me bisa asase into the pa and a UTAG for most akwa the radio because you know kumani yemba one more breath listening to the news president
a hard dream na sa da ben sa question ya obebi ubisemi me feel say the best nkofo a ombetumi answer no eye policy makers one na betumi a kire e de kire say in 2004 bra ye to aba ma je ekufo ewie no na labor on industrial actions teacher for no ma hye bibia say na mo ye bibisa na ye twema mentwen kakra minister say SK ni ho sanya de bi omo kan ye ni sika na kufo ehwa ade president kufo hwa ade na eye no asefem kakra no frɛ ni minister am say ya asafo mafo na nkofo omo se den o se o mpet ayi omo pe increment or musika bi akemu na asefo ana obi sha say mbetumi tua so o ebetumi tua no se kutua mom eno ana asem twa enti be bia ye dui ni emisre ne se madwimu no omo negotiate on behalf of government. Number one, they have embarrassed the government. Why do I say so?
I see.
Yeah, they have embarrassed
National Labour Commission.
They have embarrassed. In fact, they are a monumental embarrassment to the government. Wow. Why do I say so? They should have prevented this. Brian did letter come on say, man nya me ba. Brian did letter come on say, man nya ye be ko strike no. At least mu shia won e tro letter no. Any omo ka nsem papa bi a esinkonwa e anka strike mpo anya den.
National Labour Commission is a monumental embarrassment
to
the government.
Mese opa betumi dey your headline. Near me share say ye omunya sa kratai if they had been preemptive anka quickly minuanum ade no e bia wo de atropo a ade na e bia nya se ye refi mu enim sa ade na de 10 years na mum ye pamocho strike ndi mo ntwen so kakra nsa mo ma yensi nkonwa ne yenka se in that case no kura betumi dey adan abai time but when we wrote to them no oman fi yen what you say and that is what in my view has embarrassed the government coupled with that omo posturing mo de ekogina court wi a wonim omo de court wi no ewie no omo san frɛ yen say yen sambra negotiation wo de ekogina court afi o si embra negotiation into UTAG for nso has gone to court to also file a motion to set aside a court injunction. But ni nyina no twema mentwe ema obetweni ekora eden ebo ni American say omanyo omodwuma yi NLC no na wei ede ni ngwase bi ahwa ebebre omampeni president enti no me feel say in his second term of office President Nana Akufo-Addo ni amegidi say ni nidaso kese ne say obeye nkaye niema bi Ghana for echina omodebeden obekan wo de ko university campus here obia boje Akufo din say on time na obema salary mu papa kakra ema university lecturers na me did say this is a low hanging fruit omampeni Nana Akufo-Addo obetumi aploko as part of his legacy that he intends leaving for Ghanaians say beya Ghana for be kai no mo kai na teacher for so kan say papa ya obedi president President Akufo-Addo ona bresu na bia or radical or salaries and conditions of service of lecturers. It is a passionate call that I'm making to him that he should go the J.Akufo way of personally intervening in this matter. And I'm sure, say, say, school for no among colleges. We want to go.
Prof, you are patronizing the president by this.
Well, no, not that. I mean, I'm making a passionate appeal. I mean, it's not the American. It's not something that is unprecedented. You see, J.Akufo ayebi. No mampeni Akufo-Addo nso no oye bia ebeye ama his quest to leave legacies that Ghanaians will remember him with.
Emmanuel, what think you?
Yeah,
good. Clearly, over 1 minute. Looks like there's no end in sight to this strike action. Listening to UTAG. Final comment now for Yenja Ima.
Yeah, from the look of things, I think what is really disturbing near and commoner air cost between UTAG and then government, the taking or the making of entrenched positions by both parties. That is Abino and UTAG leadership. Now, and National Union of Ghana students, Leguso at the to both parties and say. Omunche na omun take away those entrenched positions, na omun team reach a compromise. Tenebe at the end of the day, at the chair, at the share,
okay. All right.
Before I see a
Imam Medase, Prof, 30 seconds.
Sorry. Senior Medin Kankai. Teacher ni bi anywhere and nije say obeko strike. Ye nije ane say ye chira de ye graduate students na asumdwe e wo ne de be adwumanti no ye sere senior Medin Kankai na. Oma negotiate on behalf of government. I think they have not done well.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Omampeni Akufo-Addo say on one kasa on intervene. Say nebeya they'll become because near course we ebi no so ehwe. Ni empese ye be chichire omanya ade bia na the strike. Omampeni Akufo intervene.
That's a Professor Ransford Jampo, Secretary elect UTAG and the teaching commander Angel Kabono, President National Association of Graduate Teachers also be kan ho. Samson Emmanuel Adom looks president and so Ebekan Komachucho. No, Chief Jerry Forson